We go.
Let's go. Let's go, everybody. What's good, everybody? Good to see y'all in the chat. How's everybody doing this evening? Welcome to the Voice of College Football, Alabama Voice of College Football with yours truly, your boy Jackson Johnson, man. How you feeling this evening, bro?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good, Coach. How you doing tonight, man?
You know I'm hyped. Recruiting is my thing, and oh man, we got a lot to talk about here in this primetime segment. So take it away, Jackson. Do what you do, man. Bring them in the right way. Let's go, man. Roll Tide in the chat, y'all.
Oh man, roll Tide, Mary J, and roll Tide to you too, Jordan. Right? Always good seeing y'all. $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member, and in return, you get a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments and in the live chat. Custom emoji to use in the comments and in the live chat, and you get a member shout out for every time you comment on the show. For $4.99 a month, you can become a Saban Disciple, where you can get a priority reply to comments and access to a monthly hangout from yours truly, Jackson Johnson, Coach Johnny Burts, Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports, Coach Smook, and Manny Wilson. And for $9.99 a month, you can connect on social media with each of us and give out content requests of any kind just by becoming a Bear Bryant legend. And neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor bad weather of any kind will put stop to us from fulfilling your content request, all right here on Alabama The Voice of College Football. Here we go. Well, we got some good news, although Auburn thinks they're slick, but they're not. No, they're not getting Nolan Wilson.
You know what? I said something about this the other day. I think Nolan Wilson, he's probably not one of the primary targets in this class, but he's one of those swing guys in your recruiting class. If you get an early hard commitment from him, he definitely is one of those guys that can bring in some other commits around him. Top in-state talent. You get what I'm saying? So it's just you want to stay right there in the field house with having his attention, and he fits this scheme so well, man. That's why I think Alabama is still high on his list as far as his interest, and I can't wait to hear the reports from some of the things that's going to be going into the season with his interactions with Alabama.
Well, and it says he's got upcoming official visits for Ole Miss on June 13th and June 20th for the Miami Hurricanes. And it says he's going to be going to see Auburn over the weekend. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out.
Man, the thing is, I really like, and I know this is probably like a sin to say, I like what Auburn is doing with their recruiting agenda. They really had an initiative to really attack the state and really attack some of the pipelines that Coach Saban and his staff during his tenure really benefited from, especially in state. I personally have some connections with some of the Central Alabama and East Alabama programs, high school programs, and they talk about how often Auburn is present at their practices, at their scrimmages, at their some of their players that they're showing some interest in. They're showing up to their basketball games, their track meets, and all of that stuff. So Auburn's really establishing themselves with a presence in state, and it's having an effect. You see their class, their commitments this class. I think they had 9 of the top 20 or something like that in the state, or 6 of the top 20 in the state commit to Auburn. So they're doing something special over there as far as recruiting, utilizing that NIL, getting guys' attention early with the pitch of playing early, and they're putting young guys out there. So I won't be surprised if Auburn is some type of a powerhouse in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, if Auburn can hang on to Hugh Freeze, make sure they don't throw the baby out with the bathwater on him, then they can really make noise. Because I mean, like we're gonna see them make noise against Georgia and us for
Oh yeah.
sure.
Oh
Because
yeah.
it was like when Zachary Wilges was calling in last week on the call-in show. Two games that worried him were Auburn, South Carolina,
Yeah.
and we haven't beaten Auburn by double digits since 2015. Part of that was because Will Muschamp was throwing a temper tantrum. He was going on Kitty Foreman on the referee.
Facts, facts, facts. What's good, Pit Sniper? Good to see you, man. Good to see you guys. He said Greg Smook Hines. Dance, baby. Nah, we not dancing tonight, man. We trying to get you all informed and caught up on this past weekend's recruiting news and updates, man, and then some of the things that we're hearing and seeing in Alabama's current recruiting with this 2026 class, which is trending towards really being like a head and shoulders #1 class, with a lot of guys being public about their interest. Alabama moving up in a lot of guys' top fours. I know current USC commit, and they're saying, you know, we can expect an announcement here soon with Elbert Hill. That's going to be good, man. You get Elbert Hill, Zion Gibson, and Jordan Edmonds to commit in this class. You're talking about another trio of defensive backs in two classes back to back, top 15, top 20 guys in their class that, you know, you're getting to develop at the University of Alabama. And I think it's a realistic opportunity. I think it's a realistic chance that it can happen. And I tell people this a lot. Coach Mo has those ties up there in Cincinnati, up there in the Northeast region, that Midwest Northeast region. That's kind of where his stomping grounds is, and he has a nice pedigree of talent that he's developed in that area. Being in Buffalo I think he did 2 seasons at Buffalo as the head coach, and just recruiting in that area. Very familiar with this young man, and I think he's a serious target. And that decommitment would be awesome. And then have him flip to Alabama. A couple flips I think would be interesting to see if they actually transpire here. I've been getting some good reports from the visits this past weekend, so I can't wait to see how everything just continues to just unfold, man, day by day in recruiting, because of the access that these staffs have to these players now.
And we got some highlights of Mr. Elbert Hill for those who want to learn more about him. Well, here he is making some magic on this touchdown.
Right. Ooh. And the first thing you notice is speed, on both sides of the ball. He's a safety, but the first thing you notice is with the ball in his hands, he can make magic. Kind of puts you in the mind of, as far as dynamic playmaking ability with the ball in his hands, Jalen Mbakwe, athlete that you could put on the field, and you want to put your best athlete in the middle of the field, no matter if that's on the offense or the defensive side. That's your running back, your free safety. When you have athletes his size with that type of speed, that's where you want to put him. And he excels at both positions. Now, at the collegiate level, I don't think you look at him realistically to play running back or, wide receiver. Definitely could be a specialist returner. You see the speed. I mean, he just blazing through these guys in Cincinnati, so but you look at him play the safety position, man. Great ball skills, strong hands, going to go up and attack the ball at its highest point when it's in the air, comes down. I don't think he's as physical as we would want at the safety position, but this vision coverage on the back end and the way that Kane Womack dials up the 4-2-5 up front with a lot of stunts and blitzes, a guy with his speed, man, you could see him play that robber technique that we saw Keon Sabb and Bray Hubbard play so well last year. We could see a guy like Elbert Hill transition into that type of role very, very well.
Ooh. He's running. Like you said, he's got a lot of speed.
I mean, he's a speed guy, man. You put him in the middle of your field, and it's kind of like you're shedding it down. And you got to think, you got a guy in Ike Taylor that's a rangy safety too. And I think they're trying to mold him to be more in the box type safety, so more that rover husky type role, being that nickel corner. I think that's what they want to breed him or kind of evolve him into being the primary guy for, with his ball skills and his size and the way that he fits his physicality. Put him close to the line of scrimmage, put him in position to be a hybrid type of dynamic playmaker. You get a guy like Elbert Hill to follow up and start, developing in this system. He's a quick turnaround guy, like Zay Mincy, a quick turnaround guy. You give him a year, a half a season to be active and getting reps. And look, like I said, the vision for me is where it's at. Like just instincts, walking down, playing press man. You're not going to burn him. We know he got the speed and is aggressive on the ball. He's not going to bail coverage out. He's not going to bail the receiver out by watch this hawk down. This is one. I think this is one that made across my screen. Look at this. He almost beat the guy to the end zone.
Oh!
He had to slow down to catch the guy. He almost ran past him. Go back, rewind it.
Let's see it.
Like, look, he had to slow down to catch the guy. Look, he started jogging. He thought he was down. This boy fast, man. Hey, let me answer this phone call real quick, brother.
Alrighty. Oh man, I can't wait to see this little chase down. Let's see it. Let's see it, everybody. Ooh, he's chasing. Boom. Touchdown saving tackle. There he is again. He's watching. He's like a hawk. Ooh, no, not today. Not today, boss. This is my house. Boom. PBU. Man. Good grief. Like, I gotta tell you, that is not a young man I'd want to go up against. I can tell you. Like, USC, I'm not sure they're gonna hang on this guy. But they do, good for them. But commits to us, that can be a huge win for the Crimson Tide. And what do we have here? We have a new YouTube member in Jordan Wright.
Yo, what's up, my God, Jordan? Appreciate you for joining Alabama Voice of College Football YouTube membership. Yeah, it felt good to say that, man. Voice of College Football family. Yeah, I like that. Voice of College Football. We the voices. Man, let's go.
There we go.
Hey, you know what's crazy though, man? We came into tonight, hype about this recruiting class, and I heard you asked about Elbert Hill. And somebody was asking what his size was. I think he's 6'2", and a half, about 175, 180. Kind of a similar frame that you saw with Chuck McDonald last year going into his senior year. And we see how his frame is developed, how he's the man. Listen, the Bama secondary is probably going to be the most talented we've seen across the board. 3 deep at each position, 2 deep at each position. Like, everybody in the secondary can go out there and produce on the field at a high level. And it's going to be interesting to see what the rotations look like. Just watching how they rotate the secondary, it's going to be a pitching point for recruiting, a recruiting pitch. Look at how many young guys we are playing, in 2 years in a row. You're going to have an opportunity to prove yourself. And if you're ready, we will find you, and you will find yourself in the rotation.
There we go. I'm excited about what we're bringing to the table for 2025 and beyond. I'm so excited about what the rest of the 2020s is looking like. I'm loving what this young man can bring to the table. Yeah, USC. Yeah, no, the Hollywood lifestyle. Sorry, nah. We're gonna get him from y'all. Oh man, any other guys that we need to look out for, Coach?
You see, I knew you was gonna do it. That's why I went on ahead and I was looking to the right. But I've kind of been putting it out already over on the Coach Spook Network. But I wanted to put it out officially here on the Voice of College Football. Expect some commits coming here in the coming days. And I mean, today is Tuesday. I was expecting maybe one earlier today, or announcement about somebody leaning towards Alabama. And you all saw today, everybody's talking about Titan Davis, JJ Finch, but newly to the fold, a lot of people are talking about Nolan Wilson, and we kind of gave our thoughts on the Nolan Wilson idea of Auburn being in the mix. But I think this is one of those things where he's a swing guy. You get his commitment, he swing. A couple more commitments, he pushes 2 or 3 away, but he brings other guys. So I don't know, for me and where the scheme sits, and this class currently, and some of the guys, Kamari Brooks, more of a schematic fit for this defensive front. We have Kamari Johnson. We got Mari Johnson already committed. Jamarian Matthews. A lot of those guys in that front, in that defensive front, that front seven, that I believe are better scheme fits than Nolan Wilson. And he's a talent you don't skip on if he commits, right? You don't say, no, you can't come here. But if we do miss on him, I like the fact that we have Titan Davis trending. We have JJ Finch trending. And that would, to me, solidify the depth that you want with a young group coming into this class. You get 6 or 7 guys right there in your first 15 commits, and they're in your trenches right there. I think that it puts Alabama in a good position. But then on the other side of the ball, man, offensively, you talk about Ethan Booby Feaster, the wide receiver out of Texas. You know, is it Texas? He's out of Texas, right? Or is it Louisiana? It's Feaster out of
Louisiana, I believe.
Yeah, is one. You know, they bring all the speed from those two states. So, but big play wide receiver. But you look at where we stand with Owen Cabell, the 3-star wide receiver, very underrated, 6'2", big body, can really stretch the field. Nobody knows who this young man is until Alabama offers him. He's leaning towards Alabama. You're still in the runnings with Sadarian Morgan, but you get a commitment from possibly Ethan Booby Feaster. You look at I forget the young man's name, the running back athlete. He plays running back, wide receiver. It wasn't Feaster, chat. Come on. Athlete. I can't think of the name right now. But you get commitments from those type of guys that are, you know, considered athletes in this class. They're classified as athletes. You fill a lot of voice with some veteran guys eligible for the draft this year. Who's to say that we see a Cole Adams return? He's eligible for the draft. He may not want to come in and try to up his draft stock. He may want to be a possession guy in the draft, 4th round draft, 5th round guy. That may be his goal, his target, to get in the league and just get in the locker room. So it's not crazy to see those type of things happen. So you gotta replenish your roster by getting athlete assets. So I think guys like that are really going to be some guys to look really closely to in the coming weeks with them visiting. And then I think the last name I wanted to talk about was that'll be here this weekend is Samarian Wingo out of St. Augustine, Florida.
Here we go. Let's see. There he is. There he is.
Is it Samario or Samarian?
Samarian Wingo.
Samarian Wingo. Okay. I think he's like 6'2", 185, 6'2", 180, 6'2", 180, something like that.
6'2", 180. You got it.
And so that's the guy's been watching closely because South Carolina is really heavy on him. Florida, Miami, they're all pretty heavy on him. As y'all can see on the screen. But this visit this weekend, him coming the same time as Brandon Ayrton, 2 speedy guys. Alabama is going to go and target these type of guys. And if you can get these 2 and an Owen Capel, I don't know if you get Sadarian Morgan in this class, but that's a good swap. That's a good swap. You're talking about 3 wide receivers in this class with similar skill sets. Sadarian Morgan with the size, but similar skill sets. And when you talk about pure speed and what this Alabama offense was to do with the vertical threat, you can't miss on any 4 of these guys that you have coming on these official visits during the month of June. So I like where we sit with all of them as far as being in the runnings. Marion Wingo, I think, will be a focal point this weekend for this week, the visits this weekend. Derek Cooper was the guy that I was talking about. 6'1", 205 pound out of Chaminade, Hollywood, Florida, out of Chaminade High School. His visit this weekend exceeded his family's expectations. I told everybody to be on the lookout for his name. His mom was very public about how they just felt really like they felt at home at the University of Alabama. And then that FaceTime was pretty awesome, man. Seeing that, it was like pure joy, man. Like I see recruits at visits posting in pictures and stuff, but this weekend it was a lot of like, you know, it felt like it was a different vibe around it, kind of like it was last year when we started getting all the big 5-star commits for Roll Tide weekend. I forget what they call it now. It ain't you know, I forget what they call it when Saban was there, but yeah, I think we're in a good position with a lot of these high end guys, and it's a lot of 3 stars that's coming on board that are getting their looks, and know that they're gonna have a chance to compete. It's gonna get crazy.
Oh man, I see Derek Cooper. This young man is very talented.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, he's gonna be up there. Like we can get him. He's gonna be up there with that class of Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson.
you know what, Jackson? Honestly, you should see him in the slot. Like his catching out the backfield to me is what creates so much value for him, because he could be what Alabama tried to do with Emmanuel Henderson, except he got in this offense. I think he would transition very well to a slot receiver. Still be a running back asset, but prime like coming in that wide receiver room with his speed and his hands, get his route running up to par, which won't be hard for him. He's an athlete, man. So I don't know, man. Running back, wide receiver, athlete on the roster. I think he finds himself in a better position than the likes of and I'm not no slight, but Kevin Riley, because of his size, is what's, to me, I believe is what's keeping him pushed down in the rotation, because he has the speed. He just doesn't have the size to be a solid pass blocker in pass pro. So Derek Cooper, with his size, 6'1", 205, going into his senior year, easily could put up to 225 and be a guy that looks different. Comes on campus to be an instant impact, kind of like AK Deer.
Ooh. He's taking defenders with him.
Look at him on defense. Oh, they didn't show it.
Yeah, they're messing around today. Like,
yeah, man.
That's
his hands out the backfield are pretty. I mean, solid for to be classified a running back. I think he has some of the best hands out of the targets that we're going after. Not much hype around Caden Protho. Not much hype around Caden Protho after the visit. And like as expected, a lot of people tried to read into some of his cryptic stuff he posted over the weekend. But that's just, he's going to enjoy his visits. I think he's a strong Texas lean. That's just his style. He to me, he fits Texas. He fits Texas. Caden Protho.
Oh man, it's hard not to do the horns down thing. Just kind of have some fun with Texas every now and again.
And then I saw some. I'm not going to say false news. I saw some reports on Jair Edwards and his interest in Alabama growing. I think is right where it's been for the longest. He has a respect for what the transition looked like. Also the opportunity to get in that safety room and compete to play. But I don't think that we've moved or made any advancement in as far as his interest. I think Georgia, Oregon are right there with us as far as his top 3 out of the 4 that I believe he's going to announce. I think Georgia has just as much to offer as far as opportunity to play next season, more realistically next season for him than we do. You know, looking at the roster and what's coming. But you look at him, he's one of the legit 5 stars you're going to see. Caleb Downs type presence when talent on the field. I think if he starts to open his, starts indicating where he leans, if it's anywhere near Bama, you'll see the staff really dial in to secure that. You'll see the staff really dial in to secure that. But I think he's really neutral right now. Tennessee on the rise, though. UT is going to be very interesting this year. Bama will go no worse than 10-2 this year. I said the same thing. The floor is 10-2 for Bama this year. Anything else in recruiting? Anybody? Well, I ain't gonna say anybody here been hearing, but anybody want to know about? Because I got a lot of stuff I could talk about, but I don't think we should. I think we should make them wait for the next episode.
Oh, there you go. Keep them wanting for more. I like that.
Yeah, man. Because we don't really have the we don't have the flow of the show yet. We're still waiting on Manny to come and get everything put together. We just want to continue to establish a presence on the channels and continue to just round up everybody. Start rounding them up. I see we got 70 total between the 2 platforms, between Twitter and YouTube. So I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Make sure y'all hitting the thumbs up on the stream And before we even do that, Jackson, I think Mark got something to say to us, man.
Yeah, and especially something for Father's Day.
You can make a difference here at the Voice of College Football. Use the Amazon link. Financially contribute to the Voice of College Football without spending a penny. Same shopping experience. It's easy. Go to any video on any channel. Go to the description section and grab the link right next to the capital letters that say Amazon. Use that link, and Amazon will instantaneously convert to your account, settings, history, everything intact, just like whatever link you use right now. No difference. Pay no attention to the product that you see right there. Just go search what you want. Don't forget the Amazon link. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, the Voice of College Football.
There you go.
Yes,
Shop
sir.
on there. There we go. Shop on Amazon using the link to support the Voice of College Football. You don't need to buy the product display. It doesn't cost you a penny. You get the same shopping experience with the link right next to it. Alrighty. So, found this little gem from AL.com from Nick Kelly, who's been featured on the Feinbaum Show most of the time. And he's got an article talking about this could be the most dangerous trap game for Alabama football in 2025. He believes Wisconsin can be a really high trap game. And he's moderating Vanderbilt as a moderate trap game. Missouri's high. South Carolina, moderate. Auburn is high. Yes.
Yeah, I can agree with Auburn. Let's can you zoom in on it so the chat can see it a little bit better? Go back up to let's go back to the top and let's see. Let's break this down real quick.
Ooh, absolutely, Coach.
And shout out to Nick Kelly, man. That's my guy. Nick Kelly is one of the few in this industry when it comes to Bama, covering Bama, writing for Bama. He's one of the few that I really respect. He treated me with the utmost respect during my time as a team reporter, and really assisted me in projecting some different narratives and things. So shout out to Nick Kelly, man. Appreciate you for that. But let's go, man. Go ahead and scroll down. Let's see trap games. He says Florida State low. I agree. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, Florida State's too focused on we're going to lead the ACC more than they are on Alabama.
And not just that. I think the team is up and ready to showcase that first step. You know, I think they'll be up for that one. Let's go to the first one, the first high, the Wisconsin game. I think that's the one where, like last year, going up there, we saw the team really finally hit a wall and kind of climb the first wall. And go ahead.
Yeah, because like I noticed, like until the starting quarterback got hurt in that game on Big Noon Kickoff on Fox, it was looking like a really close game. Like the final score does not always tell the whole story.
Yeah, and that's why I try to tell people like that Wisconsin game. The score looks good, but that was the first game where we had to, maybe go to the second set of plays, make an adjustment. Like people forget. So I don't think it's a trap game this year because of how it looked last year. And then with the new with Ryan Grubb returning as a play caller in this system, the pace of play calling is going to be a totally different style. And people always ask me, what's pace of play calling? Well, sometimes you need to dial up a certain style of play to help your defense. Sometimes your defense needs to call a certain level of aggression, whatever, to help your offense. It's pace of play calling, and it's going to match this year, and it's not going to be as stuttered and stagnant as it was last year. So I don't see Wisconsin being a one of those trap games for this season. Not this early in the season. Maybe if we had them week 8 after a few SEC games, I could see it, but not that early in the season.
Oh man, if it was on like week 12, then it could be like a trap game, kind of like Wisconsin, Oregon. Like that was a trap zone for the Ducks right there.
Mm-hmm. We got Georgia. I agree with this one with Georgia. I really do. I think this is the game where everybody starts to overhype Alabama because of the score.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that we keep the winning streak rolling against Georgia. That'd be pretty cool.
It's happening.
Oh yeah. Well, you did say on one of your videos on the Coach Smoot Network that you believe that Alabama can really dominate Georgia.
48-13, I think my score prediction was 41-13 or 48-13. I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball in the run game. I think Alabama's defense is going to showcase its dominance and even put up a couple of defensive scores in this game with Gunnar Stockton. And you know they don't have Rashada as the backup quarterback anymore.
And Mike Bobo's their offensive coordinator.
Oh, come on, man. Don't do that to the Georgia fans. Come on, man. You don't have to remind them of that. Come on, Jackson. That's not nice.
Well, I mean, it's like they're not going back to the Natty anytime soon as long as they got Mike Bobo's offensive
That's
coordinator.
not nice, Jackson. You should apologize to the Georgia fan base because you don't have to remind them.
Hey, if we had Mike Bobo, I'd be saying the same thing about us if Mike Bobo was our OC. But Diego Pavia, yeah, he's a winner. He's a winner.
Coming to T-Town, it's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be rocking after last year. It's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be different. I think they still put up a fight though.
Oh yeah, because that's gonna happen, obviously. And week 6 looks like a sloppy slate for the SEC, which means one thing: upsets or near upsets are coming. Because that's what's gonna happen. The Missouri Tigers, good grief, they have to be embarrassed that they got shut out. They are not too thrilled.
I still don't think they have enough this year to bounce back. I just don't, man. Defensively, they're gonna have to show early in the season, and if they're struggling when we come into town, it's going to be even worse because we'll be rolling. I'm pretty confident our offense will have an identity by week 6, week 5 this season. You know, last year we thought we had one in week 3, then for 3-4 weeks in a row we didn't know what our offense was. And then even towards the end of the season, we found out what it was, and it was not effective.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Pit Snipe Husker says, "What did Vandy turn over?" What do you mean? What do you mean? What did Vandy turn over? As far as roster turnover, they're returning a lot of what they had on their roster last year.
Oh yeah.
Hey, my fault. Go ahead.
And they got Jerry Kill on their staff as on the coaching staff. Because, I mean, like that was key to getting Diego Pavia over to Vanderbilt. His relationship with Jerry Kill dating back to New Mexico State in 2023, 2022. That was huge in of itself.
Well, that's the same Pavio that won in 23. Yep. And 24 that beat Auburn. So it's not like he wasn't. You get what I'm saying? Like, people forget that this transfer portal puts guys in where guys had to get buried on rosters in the early 2000s and the late 2000s for all of college football up into the portal. You're seeing guys now like Jamison Williams. When we got J-Mo, everybody's like, how in the world do you let a wide receiver with that type of talent get pushed down the depth chart at Ohio State? I don't care who you have. We saw Jalen Waddle get thrown on the field with 3 first-round wide receivers in front of him, 4 first-round wide receivers in front of him, including the tight end. So you got guys, man, that's moving around and they're able to get in the right situation, and we're starting to see things like that happen. So, but I don't think Missouri has enough, man, to get back to the topic. I don't think they have enough. I don't agree with that one. Now, Tennessee coming to Bama. That's the one at that point of the season, third Saturday in October. Josh Heupel was going to have something in place. It may not be what it would have been with Nico. It might not be as dynamic, but we know that he designs. Schemes up the run game very well too. So I don't expect this to be a quarterback-led offense this year. I think it's going to be a offense by committee. And when Heupel has a system managing quarterback, his offenses look good. It's going to be the defense. They're going to have to fix a lot on their back end, and then that front is talented, but how much depth do they have this year? Because that's what was their key last year, the depth that they had. So I like Tennessee to be more of a moderate than low.
Yeah, I'm wanting to see what's going to happen with that game because, like, I think once we're seeing, well, Heupel's getting all of his guys coming over to Knoxville, and they've been giving us a lot of trouble over the past few years. So I just don't want this year being like the winning streak in Tuscaloosa ending, like, which I don't think that's going to happen, but. Weird things have happened in the world of college football, but I'm a little more worried about South Carolina than I am about Tennessee. Sorry, Big Orange.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I think, and I got a brother over at Hall of Fame college football, Jason Watkins. They do not believe in South Carolina for whatever reason. It's not even South Carolina. They don't believe in Shane Beamer, and I don't know why. I know his history as a coach, he hasn't had the most success, but at the same time, I've seen what that program has done over his tenure at 5 years. And maybe there's not a consistency in winning, but you don't see the same thing happening twice with this team. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're addressing issues year in and year out, fixing the issues. And then when something else arises, they're returning the next year. Something else might arise and affect their production or how they execute. But he's been doing a good job getting a good staff over there and relinquishing some of the play. Well, all the offensive play calling duties, he's relinquished that, reports saying. But defensively, he has this coordinator there and guys that he's familiar with and becoming a better game manager. So I think, like you, I think South Carolina should be more of a high game going into that stadium, especially if they're as good as they're projected to be. They might be a one-loss team at worst at this point of the season when we go into their house.
I'll tell you this. South Carolina's got us all nervous for sure. Like, that is a nerve-wracking game, and especially when Shane Beamer has learned a lot from his father, Frank Beamer. So he knows how it works.
Mm-hmm.
LSU, I'm not really intimidated by Brian Kelly.
Not even that. I think by this time of the season, we'll know if Nussmeier and that offense is going to have found the necessary weapons and answers that they need. Is he going to live up to the hype? And if so, I think our defense will be up for that game. Being at home, like LSU at home is probably one of the games that we're always up for. So I agree with Nick right here. Same thing with Oklahoma. I think the way the game was. The last stretch of the season is going to be so emotional. Oklahoma is homecoming. And then you get Eastern Illinois the next week. That I would love for that to be the second string showcase. I would love for that to be the second string, second quarter showcase. Like, I would love for that. And then again,
it's going to be so funny when we hear the SEC network broadcasters while they're calling Alabama Eastern Illinois. They're going to be sitting there talking about playoff scenarios instead of the game.
The whole game.
They're not going to be talking about Dejon Lee. They're not going to be talking about Derek Meadows. They're just going to sit there and talk about playoff scenarios. That's all they're going to talk about.
Yo, shout out to MJ Thompson for chatting, stopping in, man. AAA family checking in. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. When inside linebacker and safeties worry Bama QB pass skills, that will open up our run game. When inside linebackers and safeties worry Bama QB pass, I can't. Run it back, 5 Adam. Did you get that?
Yes, I think so.
What is he saying?
When inside linebackers and safeties worry Alabama's quarterback passing skills, that will open our run game. Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying. Passing game will open up. Oh, okay. I was like, okay, now we got it. I got you. I get you. Good point. 5 hours. You had me stuck for a second.
I'll tell you this, Big Orange. From what we're seeing, it seems you're not too huge of a fan of Eli Drinkwitz. Well, Alabama will do solid. We'll shut out Missouri again.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's gonna get ugly. And then like like Auburn, man. We know what happens in Jordan here. We don't ever. I think the years we think we have it in the bag is when we play the worst. The years when we actually know we're going into hostile. And Auburn, hold on, Jackson. I'm not going to throw up on screen. All right. Auburn at this point of the season might be a one-loss team. They might be a two. Like at worst, Auburn could be a two-loss team because of their schedule. They have one of the softest schedules. And it's not a soft schedule. It's that I'll say this: they have a favorable schedule, meaning a lot of their big games that you would have to usually see on the road. They host us at home. They host Georgia at home. They host who else is on their schedule? I want to say LSU. I think they get to host
Nah,
LSU.
they don't have LSU on
They
their
don't
schedule.
have LSU this year. Let me get their schedule up.
Yeah, so they start off the season with Baylor on Friday for week 1. That's going to be on Fox. And they got the conference opener at Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. That's the one where I think is going to set the tone, man. If Jackson can go into Norman and show out and perform, that's going to be a huge confidence booster for him throughout the rest of the season. And then Hugh Freeze kind of likes to feed into these guys' hype when they get like that. When he gets a quarterback that needs to get over the hump, he'll feed into the hype with his play calling style and put them in situations where it's like they don't necessarily have to play on schedule.
Ooh. And Missouri.
And that's when he's dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Missouri's coming to their backyard. Kentucky's coming to their backyard. At Vanderbilt, Vandy's going to give Auburn a dogfight.
I don't know, man. Well, yeah, you know what? I think if Auburn is not performing like I expect them to be, it's because of three major things with Auburn. It's going to be their secondary. They have a lot of holes in the secondary. They need to find help, and I mean find help now. But their front is going to be good, and I mean they got a lot of young talent. They're going to have to play a lot of young guys, but I think they're going to be good. Around the time the conference play comes around heavy. So, and then lastly, like just like everybody else, every other big program in the SEC, the quarterback position. You find your quarterback. If Jackson is the guy, we know what his ceiling is. Basically what he showed us last year is not anything great, but like we said, Hugh Freeze can really do some things with quarterbacks that can run his system well. So, I see Auburn at Oklahoma. I think that's one where I think they might drop that one. But I got Auburn beating Georgia at home. I got Auburn beating Georgia at home. What's another big one for them?
Well, they got Bama at home. They got Missouri at home. They got Arkansas on the road. They got Kentucky at home.
I'm not worried about Arkansas. I hate it for Arkansas right now, man. I hate it for them. It's just tough trailing for them. They need to go to like the Big 12.
Oh,
Big
man.
10.
Yeah,
it's tough trailing for them.
Well, I'll say this: like Arkansas, Missouri has never screamed big rivalry game.
Now, what's crazy is they'll go and crap the bed against Missouri, but then they'll show up and play Texas like it's the national championship.
Oh yeah, because everybody brings their A game against the big dogs, the Bamas, the Texas, the Ohio States, Michigans of the world.
Yep.
Nobody brings their A game against the Missouris or the Vandys of the world. That's why I'm thinking like Auburn. Like I agree with you, Coach. I think they can beat Georgia, but I think, however, Vandy can beat Auburn. They're not sitting there thinking about Vandy. They're not looking forward to Vandy. They're thinking about Bama. They're thinking about Georgia. They're not thinking about Vandy. I think Diego Pavia is going to show them.
Facts. But yeah, I think going back to those trap games, I think it's only a few that I disagree with Nick. Auburn, I think we should do one with a lot of these teams this season. Look at our schedule and start mapping up how that would shape up the our chances at the SEC conference title game, where we would possibly rank as the SEC in the college football playoffs, the final 12 team playoffs.
Yeah, because I mean, like I think like Auburn, they could be like they may not be in the playoff race by the time they play us, but they know we're going to be thinking a little bit about playoff games. They may try to catch us napping for somehow. They always do.
Auburn Alabama game this year might have the potential to be SEC championship game part 1.
Ooh, that would be so cool.
It's possible because we can beat Georgia. Both of us can beat Georgia this year. Both of us can beat Missouri this year. Both of us can beat Vandy this year. Right? Oklahoma is on the schedule for both of us. We have 4 conference matchups that match, right? We don't have Arkansas on our schedule this year.
No.
So if it came down to a 4-3 conference record, and we had the same wins and 3 non-conference losses, it could come down to like Alabama. We had I forget what year it was. The conference championship game was a 4-3 team. I want to say a 4-4 team, maybe. It was like 6-2 and 4-4. That's what the conference, the championship game consisted of as far as conference records. And
South Carolina was 5-3 in the 2010 SEC title game.
That's what it was. And we were 8-1.
Auburn smacked South Carolina off the face of the earth in the SEC title game, but won a tight one in the regular season.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to be one of those things, man. This year, I can't wait to see everything unfold. Like I said, trap games. I don't necessarily consider them trap games, but I do say don't sleep on South Carolina. That's number one. Do not sleep on South Carolina. And then another one that I say, might get sticky early on, but I think that's the game where once again we kind of climb that wall. Is Tennessee. Third Saturday, October at home. That's the one. I'm not sure what Tennessee's going to be, but I think at that point of the season, they'll figure something out, and that's whatever they are, they're going to do it at a high rate. So,
agreed.
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens 2025. But we like Nick Kelly. I can tell you right now, but it's like Coach Smoke and I both agree that Missouri does not scream trap game. Hey, great minds think alike, as they say.
Hey, I mean, and that it could very well be at that point in the season. It's just looking at what they have on roster coming back. I don't know, man. I just don't see it. It has to happen on the field, and just one of those things for Missouri. They're in a transition year. I think they'll be good next year.
Yeah,
I think they will. I think they'll be tier 2, tier 3 out of the 4 tiers in the SEC. Tier 2, bottom tier 2. That's not bad.
There we go. Well, it's not what you don't know. It's what you don't know.
Right.
Is the scariest part.
Facts, man. Facts.
Well, Coach, what have you got going on this week?
Well, as you all know, man, we have our morning show Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 8 a.m. We didn't go this morning because we had so much content put out from the previous day. Just kind of felt the need to kind of skip it, and we did our gaming content today. Wednesday night we have open night, but we will be doing some gaming content this week, and we'll be doing a call-in show also during the gaming. So Tuesday, Thursday nights we have our highlight film recruit highlight film segment. Tonight we have special guest Hall Tech Sports, one of your leading recruiting analysts in the state of Alabama, covering all your high school week in, week out knowings of high school sports. He's going to be on. We'll be looking at some of the kids in the state of Alabama, not necessarily just Alabama recruits, but any kids looking to get looks. And then we'll also be tackling the state of Georgia here. So a lot going on with that. Tuesday and Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on YouTube, Twitter. Might be on TikTok tonight also, and Instagram. So just follow all Coach Smook on all socials and be up to date. And then Fridays is always awesome because we have the call-in show in the morning. And we also have the late night segment is either call-in show where you just chopping it up. We either bring on panelists, but we try to fill the week up with nothing but content surrounding college sports, sports entertainment, sports information, everything you need over at the Coach Smook Network as we transition a lot of our information and a lot of our branding over here to the voice of college football, Alabama voice of college football. Man, I'm excited to be a part of this team. So that's what we got going on over at the Coach Smook Network, y'all.
We are glad you're a part of the Alabama Voice College Football team and the Voice College Football Network. We are so happy that you're a part of it, Coach. And I can tell you this: if you want to listen to what we have to say on Spotify, Apple, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. Please leave a rating and a review. And you can check me out on my personal channel, Jackson Johnson 979, where I've got my upcoming episode with Matt Zemek on episode 73 of the Jacksonian, where we're talking about the future of the USC Trojans, the future of USC Notre Dame, much, much more. And for more updates on what's going on in Alabama with the Voice of College Football and the Jacksonian, and once a week on the Paul Feinbaum Show call-ins, check me out on JatsVOCP on /Twitter and Jackson Johnson 543908 on Instagram and Threads. Agreed. I like. We love what Coach Smoot's doing, man. We love.
I was trying to start Big Orange's comment. Tennessee loses to Archie a lot, but I always love playing. Okay, yeah, facts. I was trying to click on that, but it would scroll down. I don't know why.
Oh man, yeah, Arkansas gives somebody a lot of trouble. But of course, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell to Alabama with the Voice of College Football so you never miss no video or episode whatsoever. And we will see you soon. And roll tide.
Roll tide, man. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed tonight.